Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Radio Show. The show is about transformation and upliftment, and I'm always excited to talk to amazing people in the community, heroes and sheroes who are making great changes, positive changes for people around them. And we have yet another wonderful individual on the line. Diondra is the founder of Driven By company, which began in 2017, and she's very passionate about the human capacity for greatness and helping people get to their ultimate potential in life. So please, I'd like you to please meet the founder of Driven By, Diondra. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Nikki. It's such a pleasure for me to be on the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Diondra, thank you, and how about we just get right to it? Tell us a little bit about your background leading up to where you are today.
Absolutely. I'd love to. So I'd like to take it all the way back to my post-secondary education. So I went to school at Ryerson University, downtown Toronto in Canada, and I studied graphic communications management with a minor in marketing. And in that program, I studied a variety of different things. The program really gives you a nice variety of skills in the graphic communications industry. So not only did I learn about graphic design, we learned about the business side. So we took accounting and entrepreneurship courses as well as marketing. And we also got to touch on the production and manufacturing side of things. So I really enjoyed the program. And once that ended, once I graduated, I kind of got hired right away by a large multinational corporation. And so, you know, being with such a large company, there's a lot of opportunity. And within the first year, I found myself involved in all kinds of new projects. I was learning so much. I was just trying to absorb everything around me like a sponge, and everything seemed so dynamic. And then after about a year's time, it all slowed down. And so I kind of found myself settling into a role. You know, instead of being part of all these new projects, it was, you know, I had a set day with a schedule, and it just repeated itself day in and day out. And so I kind of lost that motivational spark, and I thought, okay, you know, this is not what I signed up for. I don't want it to be like this forever. And so I thought, you know, okay, maybe I can make some changes, because in the role I was in, I thought, you know, there's a lot of change that can happen here, and things could move a lot faster. We can get more done and have time for those fun and exciting projects. But the changes, right, so the changes I was trying to bring about kind of got met with resistance internally. And so things were not going to change, it looked like. So I needed to make a change within myself, and I needed to move on. But then I thought, okay, if I'm going to move on, like, if I choose another company to go to, am I not going to find the same thing? Like, I don't want to be in that same cycle where everything's exciting at first, and then all of a sudden it, you know, becomes sort of mundane and repetitive. So it took a lot of self-reflection for me to figure out, okay, you know, what is the attribute within inside myself that I need to really focus on to find a way to have a fulfilling career? And at that point I realized probably several people, you know, hundreds of people are going through the exact same thing. You know, they think that getting into the workforce is going to be fun and exciting, and then, you know, their passion dies during their career. And I thought, you know, okay, this is something that I really need to address, and how am I going to do this? So after months and months and months of debating and figuring out ways to do this, it was actually one of my cousins who was kind of the catalyst for everything. And he said, just start. Like, you keep talking about this, but just do something. And so at that point, I was like, you know what? Okay, you know, I need to sit down and hone in on my drive. I need to get everyone to think about what is it that's driving you, because if you hone in on whatever it is that drives you, that's how you're going to be fulfilled on your path. Whether it's a career, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is in life, you need to be, you know, you need to surround your life around what drives you. And so Driven By was born. And right after my cousin, we had that talk, I bought my first batch of clothing, and it started out as just the apparel line, just to promote the idea of, you know, bring out what drives you. What are you driven by? Let's start the conversation. And then it started to become so much more. Yes,
and beautiful apparel. I was looking at your website the other day, and I'm a collector of hats, and I'm thinking, I think I need to get a Driven By hoodie or a Driven By one of those toques for sure.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That's so exciting.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for, kind of sharing the muse and how it kind of gave you the pivot to start this company. And what typically is your target? Who gravitates to your company?
I find it's sort of, I guess I would say young adults, or maybe better known as millennials, people who are kind of at the cusp of their career. But I really find anyone who gravitates towards my brand are those who have kind of felt the same as me, where they had some sort of crossroads in their career, or people who are, starting something new and they don't really know where to go. They don't have a direction yet. I find those are the people that most gravitate, but I find my message really reaches, young adults.
Okay, wonderful. And what kind of services do you provide?
So we have several. So, in terms of products, we have the clothing line, of course. And then, so when I break down what I do for Driven By, I really break it down into 3 pillars. So personal growth, career development, and business development. And so the clothing falls under the personal growth side. And then we also have like charity events that we do on that side. And then in terms of services, thank you. In terms of services under the career development side, so I actually offer career development workshops. Typically, I do that in schools. I'm going to be, hopefully, if the pandemic ends anytime soon, I'm going to hopefully, be taking that out of the schools, not out of the schools, but also doing some on the side as well, and just inviting, the general public, if they're looking at developing their career in any way, to attend a workshop and really focus on different things, so resume, cover letter, that sort of thing. And then as part of the career development side, I have a YouTube channel where I actually dive into different career topics as well. And then, so that's great, and it's nice to have the video aspect of it.
Of course,
And then also on my website, you can download a free career planner, which actually takes you through, okay, let's think about what drives you, what are you interested in, what do you value, and it helps you, if you're looking at changing careers or starting a new career, it helps you kind of identify your path.
Excellent.
Right? Yes, I find it really helpful, and I built it around what I would have enjoyed or what I would have needed prior to me choosing my career path. And
wonderful.
And then lastly, thank you. And lastly, on the business development side, relatively new, but I also have a business plan template on there. So for all the small business owners and the budding entrepreneurs, they can just go ahead and download that. And it gives them a little bit more guidance, because a lot of the business plan templates out there are really, they're written in, business speak for people who already have studied, it's a little bit harder to start off when you don't really have the foundation. So my business plan is more simplified. So, if anyone who's starting their entrepreneurship journey and doesn't have that background, it really helps walk them through the process and kind of things that I learned on the way as well. And then as part of that, I also just launched my 6-week business plan course.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
excellent.
That's
so is it I guess a virtual training?
Yes. So we do weekly sessions of an hour to 2 hours talking about different business plan topics, and then I kind of give the participants time to work on whatever it is we're talking about. Okay,
so you coach people through their initiative and help them to put all the pieces together to like an implementation to get things going. Wonderful. And it's so important, even during this time where things have kind of slowed down or shut down, it's a really good time to still plan, You shouldn't just wait until, with bated breath to hear what's going to be advised to you. You need to still plan and come up with a short-term and long-term goal, either personally or professionally. And in terms of business, it's really important to, be watchful and see what the trends are, and also to see what your gifts are so that you can weave that in with what people are looking for when we come on the outside of this pandemic. So it's fantastic that you have these wonderful offerings through your company, and I really appreciate that. And for someone who is a young entrepreneur, I have to say congratulations, for all that you achieved at this point. So keep doing what you're doing, and also keep inspiring people to get out of their places of, uncertainty and maybe comfort, and just go for it, right? You never know until you get on the other side of fear what is there for you. So.
Yes. Awesome. Growth is on the other side of fear, for sure.
Absolutely. So I hear the passion, I hear the purpose, and so how has your life been transformed through all of this, Diondra?
Oh, my goodness. So at the beginning, when we were doing all these charity events at first, I really felt like, I was being the change, right? And people talk about, be the change that you want to see in the world. And the transformation happened when I started to see the change, to see the results of what I was doing, and people started, resonating with my message. And when I started hearing that, like what you put out today, like that changed my day, or, like you inspired me to do this. When I started hearing that feedback and knowing that I was changing lives and changing people's direction, that's what transformed my life. And that's when I knew I needed to keep going, and what I was doing was important. And so that has also pushed me to go even further outside of my comfort zone and start reaching out to people and really trying to be more vocal. Because before, at the beginning of this, I didn't want to, I was putting out the message, but I didn't want to, say, okay, you need to change. But now I want to be more open and say, like if you need me to coach you through anything, if you need to talk to me, I'm here. I will help you do that. I'm starting to be more involved, and I'm really starting to see the change.
Excellent. All right. And Diondra, I wanted to ask you a question about how people are managing with, a whole range of emotions during these unusual times. What message of hope would you offer the listeners?
I would say that I think it's very important to be vulnerable. I know we're all struggling in different ways, and some people are more well-suited to kind of, staying indoors, staying in quarantine, keeping your distance, but some people are not, and their life has been, completely flipped upside down, and, there's so much negative news, but I think it's important to, not to hold that in, reach out and be vulnerable and share, if you're struggling, like, let people know, because people will surprise you, and they'll help you out.
Yes, so true. People don't know what you need unless you verbalize them, right? So it's important to, there's no shame in asking for help. Absolutely. And I'm speaking from my own experience where it's been a challenge. I'm very good at giving help, but asking, it's taken time to get there. But once you're there, it's a really kind of freeing opportunity where you don't have to carry on so much, and there are people there who are ready to help you. So that's a really good point.
Exactly. I think
awesome.
So too, and I think that, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, continue what you were saying. I just wanted to just tell you that I just agree with what you're saying.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think that, sometimes we feel like we're burdening others with our problems, but even if it's something so small, like just letting it out, sometimes even just talking about it out loud will help you. And, it's not that you expect other people to help you out, but, they might have even just a piece of advice that might change your perspective and change your whole day.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. I agree. Okay. Well, that is a wonderful, pearl of wisdom that you shared with us. And can you tell us, Diondra, how can people find you on social media?
Oh, absolutely. So I am on Instagram. You can find me at Driven By Co. So it's Driven By CO. No spaces, no special characters. Facebook as well, Driven by Co. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I'm also on YouTube. But all that is connected if you want to visit my website, so you don't have to write down all these handles. But my website is drivenbyco.com.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, Diondra, and I wish you all the best, and looking forward to getting a toque by Driven By sometime soon. And, yes, we'll connect again very soon when we are on the other side. So you've been listening to the Nikki Clarke Show. You're welcome. With a very special guest, Diondra. She is the founder of Driven By Company. Please reach out to her on social media. All right. Stay strong, stay safe, stay positive, Diondra, and bye for now.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.